All right. I'm so
Hey
prepared
guys.
for it. What's up, guys? Here we go. This is live. We know what we're doing. All right. So we got Alex and Matt, correct? Good God.
Yeah.
Let me
You
see
got
if I
it.
know what's going on here. All right, guys. So I think we're up. So Alex is the CEO and co-founder of Lolli, a rewards application that lets people earn Bitcoin when they shop online from 1,000 top merchants. Helped people earn over 20 million Bitcoin to date. And then we have, let's see, I don't have anything on you, Matt. So Matt, who are you, brother?
Sure. Hey, I'm Matt Luongo. I co-founded Fold, which is another rewards application in the Bitcoin space. And I'm the CEO of Thesis, which is a Bitcoin venture studio.
Awesome. I mean, I think anybody who's been around crypto for a while has probably followed Lolli. You had a very, I think, effective online presence and the deep desire to earn Bitcoin for my purchases. I think were quite large. $20 million. Probably going to go up to 20 billion once we see Bitcoin to $1 million. Let's go. What's up? So that's awesome. And Thesis, you guys have been around for a while. Is the venture studio for Bitcoin somewhat of a new positioning of this company?
So we originally started Fold in 2014. And then as we realized we were going to build other things, we spun Fold out in 2019. So we didn't really talk about Thesis until around 2019.
Got it. Okay. I'm trying to see where in my long history of confusion in crypto you guys came around.
Well, dude, we make it worse because we have multiple brands, right? So we have Tahoe and TBTC, and we just keep spinning up new projects. So it's always hard to talk about a studio.
Well, I think you're sort of ahead of the game. It seems like that's like the more common way of crypto projects being built today. I think is sort of finding the edges, building something, finding some product market fit, using that to leverage into the next big opportunity you see. But I think sort of the news within the last couple of weeks, Alex, you guys got acquired. So this is obviously a big moment in any founder's career. You've been working on this project for this company for a number of years. I'm curious if you can kind of catch us up on the thinking behind this and sort of what this acquisition might unlock for you guys and your customers.
Yeah, so we started Lolli in 2018, very long time ago, and we had this vision of distributing Bitcoin to as many people as possible. At the time, Bitcoin was only available to either buy or mine it, and we were really frustrated with that. I think getting our friends and family into Bitcoin, the only place you could really send them was Coinbase. My last company had been acquired by Rakuten, the biggest cashback company in the US and many parts of the world. I had built a company very deep in the reward space and knew that space very well. And so, we kind of took my expertise and my partnerships that I developed, friendships really in the merchant space, and said, hey, how do we bring on more merchants and more people into Bitcoin? And started that 2018, and it's been a fun ride ever since. Matt and I have a long history. Matt is, we go way back in the Bitcoin space. And what's funny, is we started off as competitors. And I would say it was always like friendly competition. I mean, we would, we say, hey, we're only looking forward. We're only looking at what we're doing. But, seeing them in our peripheral all the time of like, they would launch something, we would launch something, they would launch something,
Yep.
we would launch something. And so it was always this like very like it was I would say healthy competition that drove us both forward and I think it made us both better. And then we got to a point in surviving many bear cycles, thriving in many bull markets, where we in the last bear market we said, hey, look, we can't keep kind of just waiting. So we actually started to spin out a stealth product on the enterprise side. Where we wanted to launch rewards for other cards and start to try to distribute crypto rewards, but mainly fiat rewards to kind of stay in business. And so that became our main business. And then Lolli, hit like every bull cycle just like grows like crazy with the ebbs and flows of the industry. And so we started to grow again, and we were like, okay, let's find a good partner for this that can focus on it, because I think in the Bitcoin and crypto space you need absolute focus and dedication. And we were essentially running two businesses. So, call up Matt, and we had a great conversation. We've clearly always had the same vision for, probably like 10 years now about how do we onboard billions of people into Bitcoin. We're both very Bitcoin centric. Like you just mentioned with the studio model, Matt had built so much beautiful infrastructure that we had, really wanted. And we were starting to see, Bitcoin DeFi come out. We, needed a partner there. Matt was launching and just launched Mezzo, which he can talk about. And so that everything just sort of like came together. And we were like, Matt and team, the Thesis team, were the right team to partner with on that. So, I'm staying on as advisor, passing the torch. And Matt and team have already done an amazing job of taking on the community. The community's been like super excited about the growth. They have some big plans to go international, which Matt can tell you about, and really big plans to add more ways to earn rewards, not just in shopping, but also gaming and being able to use your Bitcoin, which was always, the goal. And I think this is the cycle to use your Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I want to get into what you're building, Matt, and we'll go there for a second. But I think this is an interesting. I mean, you guys have been around for a while. You've been building through many bears, a couple bulls, rock and roll. We're sort of this really unique time in crypto that I think many of us who've been around since I got in around 2017, where it was always the promise, always some degree of hope, the sort of the mass market coming to crypto, the institutions coming to crypto. Now we're here, and people seem slightly uncomfortable by it, or at least there's like a vast dispersion in sort of opinions and takes on it. I'm curious, like, how do you see the moment we're in right now?
I mean, most of those people who aren't excited don't own enough Bitcoin. So I think a lot of what's happening right now, like a lot of the market sentiment, like especially those of us who are terminally online and spend time on like Twitter and other platforms, like, man, why does it feel so bad, but the numbers look so good? And the answer is because I think, crypto Twitter and people who have been in the space for a while are getting taught the same lesson the world's getting taught, which is like printing more money is a short-term game. And that's the same with alt season that people have come to expect. And so you have a lot of folks who came into the space, and ideally what happens is they come to get rich quick and they leave principled, and trying to push the world towards self-custody, trying to push the world toward, sovereignty and against the money printer. But in the meantime, they've been enjoying the money printer. So I think it's kind of hard, right? Because a lot of us our ideals are vindicated. That's not always the same as your account balance being vindicated. So,
amen. Truth to that. So, okay, let's turn our future. I guess, man, I could talk to you guys for a long time, and we don't have you for a long time. So let me see if I can be efficient here. There's sort of a general sense that there isn't a lot of innovation coming out of Bitcoin, or maybe said another way, that the ecosystem, that Bitcoin people don't want to do anything with their Bitcoin. Are you? Like, is that the right way to look at it? Or, I mean, clearly, if you're building products in the space, there's obviously a consumer demand or an institutional demand there.
This has been very personal for me because I started before Fold was in rewards. It was a payments company, and we were just we weren't helping people. Everyone has a story of a certain vintage. They'll talk about Silk Road and they'll talk about the various illicit things they bought with their Bitcoin. But for us, we were just helping people buy coffee and spend money at like Target and stuff. And I did like the math kind of back in napkin the other day. And I think on our products, people have spent what's now around almost $500 million. And right. So, I think people want to use Bitcoin, and that's different from wanting to spend Bitcoin. Spending Bitcoin has a number of issues, right? So like my favorite is economic. And this is the one that it's taken me years to have beaten into me. My children do it. This has been happening since like, the cradle of civilization. If you give me a dollar coin and you give me a paper dollar bill, I'm going to spend the paper dollar bill. The dollar coin is going to find a way out of circulation. This is called Gresham's law. It's a basic idea. But you see it. I gave my kids allowance a couple weekends ago, and like they were trying to make change between themselves, but neither would give up any of their dollar coins. And so they couldn't make change because they had this preference. And I think the same thing happens with Bitcoin. We want to build a circular economy, but no one wants to be the next pizza guy. No one wants to have spent their BTC when they should have spent their, fiat. And so you have to fix that core issue. So all the stuff people talk, well, capital gains and this, that's all true. The usability, all of those things are true. But the biggest issue is, well, who cares what is money? It's the best collateral. It's the best thing you could possibly own. So you don't want to sell it. And so I think a lot of what Lolli has got right is it's about earning. People want to earn Bitcoin. And then later, instead of using it like spending it, what they want to do is they actually want to use it as collateral to buy a house. They want to use it as something to be, the backing to a credit line. So that's really what all of our portfolio is that's the future that we're focused on. Help people earn, help them find financial freedom, and then sell them the tools they need once they're free.
So give us a sense of what sort of the constellation of products that Lolli
Sure.
is joining into here.
Yeah. So, please, Alex.
Yeah, I think that the core of the sort of usability problem is that I think people have a very difficult time really understanding money, period. Like, I think cash is just sort of the default, and people don't quite understand inflation. Like, I think we're now living in a world where you have to understand inflation.
Yeah.
It's being talked about on mainstream media all the time now. Growing up, that was never a thing. That was never something that we talked about. You just thought $1 is $1. And now the world's realizing $1 is not $1. $1 is $1 today. It's 99 cents tomorrow. It's 98 cents the next day. And so I think the sort of the non-obvious thing with rewards is that you put in $1, you get back, this, maybe it's a 10-cent reward, maybe it's $1 reward, maybe it's $10 reward. And you start to see that, like, almost in a race with Bitcoin, or sorry, with fiat. And you just start to see, oh, my cash back that was $10 is now $20. Like, there's this thing that I will not take credit for, but the Lolli community created in the first few months, and they call it the Lolli effect. They said when the Bitcoin that we earn on a product pays for the product itself, and they call it the Lolli effect. And so that became like a meme in our community that I think about like every day, because that's the power of Bitcoin. Your dollars are inflating, and your Bitcoin, if it continues to do what it has done over history, and we're now at all-time highs, it'll continue to go up. But you don't see that until you're getting in your pocket. And so that's why I think it's Matt and I's job, and every builder in the space's job, to make it easier and frictionless. And what we said is, look, everybody has credit cards, everybody has debit cards. You're not going to change the behavior overnight to get them to swipe some Bitcoin, at a terminal over sats or anything. Like, that changes behavior entirely. You have to meet people where they are, and hundreds of millions of people in the US are using their credit cards, using their debit cards. And if you can just tack on Bitcoin instead of points, and those become 10 times better when your points are just this fake currency and cash is inflated into oblivion, you show Bitcoin's better than any other currency in the world.
Exactly.
Matt, he's good.
Yeah,
brother. He's good.
I know he's got it. You can tell I'm like ramping back up on my rewards side, because what I've been focused on for a couple of years on the other side. So like with Fold, we have a debit card, and you spend and you earn Bitcoin, and we have people who their mortgages have paid for themselves. Like, they go back and they're like, oh man, that tiny bit that I earned on my mortgage is larger than my mortgage payment now. But this house that I'm in currently, that I'm working from, is also financed by Bitcoin. So I just took a loan out against part of my stack, and now, of course, the stack grows, then the house grows, but a lot more slowly, and so I get to have both. So I think, in the same way that no one knows about inflation, we're all fish in the ocean. We don't know what water is, but people are starting to learn. People are kind of having to learn, like, okay, well, how does lending actually work? How do these tools actually work? And this is stuff that ultra high net worth people, this is how they live. And now Bitcoin is helping us bring this to everyone. So I think, earn sat, like stack sats. That's where your money, like any dollar you earn, buy, and then spend fiat. And I think that's what we're trying to do.
You're getting peace hyped in the chat here. You guys are getting me so hyped. Listen, guys, I have to leave it here. Matt, I would love to dive in deeper with sort of the world you see here, because I think how you framed the opportunity you're going after really resonates here. So we'll make sure we get you back on. Alex, congrats on the run, man. I know, starting something and, having this thing be kind of a core part of your identity, and finding such a good home for it must just feel quite exceptional. And I know you guys have a really thriving business aside this, so I wish you continued success, and hopefully we get to chat again soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
See you.